Good morning. It's Saturday, the 3rd of November, and it's shooting the
Hey,
breeze. I'm back. Yes, I'm back after a week off. After a week
hey,
off.
we got a regular voice again. Last week
Yep.
we mixed each other up, so there's that. I
Yeah.
think.
I had I had this. It was supposed to originally go to work at noon, and they kicked it back to 1 o'clock. I could have came on, but I decided against it. I was trying to get sleep.
I know. In any case,
In any
is this
case,
shooting the breeze? Is
yep.
it shooting the breeze?
Yep. I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of rusty here. I'm a little off because I quit smoking this week. Ugh. And I'm a little jumpy and edgy right now, so that ain't helping matters either. Um,
Okay.
so yeah, my temper may be a little bit short. I may be a little bit intemperate when it comes to certain things that we're going to be talking about today. But before
Mm-hmm.
I go any further, I want to introduce my partner to my left, my crime partner, my brother from another mother, my friend over in Japan. You already heard him talking in the background. That's Mr. Dr. Senju. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Although
Oyasumi,
after,
wake up.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, after 2 o'clock, or yeah, at 2 o'clock this morning, our time here,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it'll be morning when we come to do this again because
Yes.
we're coming off daylight savings time tonight. Make sure you fall back, as they say.
Yeah, that means I'll be changing next week. So yeah, that means next week I'll be on 11 p.m. Not midnight anymore. So yes, I'll be remembering daylight savings time.
Yep.
Uh, MDS will happily return to 11 p.m. starting time rather than starting in midnight.
Right.
So less cranky, less cranky MDS.
Okay.
In any case, we have guests. Yeah, we have guests, good sir. Before
We have
we
a guest
ask
this
us.
week. Yes,
Mhm.
we do. He is also a brother, a very good brother of ours. One of the people that I turn to when I need help when it comes to this stuff. He's being the technical advisor on us making our move over to Twitch.
Mhm.
He has a show every Thursday night at 9 Eastern, 8 Central. It's called Two Guys One Sport, along with his best friend and crime partner George at Chavez. Let's please welcome the one, the only Crazy Chris 576. Good morning, sir. He,
He actually did say that he's going to start it off
yeah,
maniacal.
yeah.
He actually did.
I am despite the clearly sardonic nature of my laughter, I'm actually in quite a good mood today. I have to laugh though because within the past 24 hours we have seen that there are certain people in this business, certain companies that run events that we will not discuss that are just so clearly out of their freaking minds that they just have no grasp as to how to properly engage in this business anymore. So that was good to at least know that the bias, the information that I have. I was about to say confirmation bias, and it is confirmation bias.
Confirmation.
It's nice to know that my
Yes.
confirmation bias is actually correct. So
Well,
but
it actually makes me feel good that I protested even watching the damn show
yeah, but
altogether.
in any case,
In any
putting
case,
that
how are you?
aside, good
Mhm.
morning, my brothers. Thank you for having me. It's good to be here, and I'm happy to be back on the show. It's only been 2 weeks since I was last year, which was
Yeah, you were
you know,
here just the week just before you went to TwitchCon. How was that, by the way?
oh, it was amazing. I had an awesome freaking time. TwitchCon was an absolutely amazing experience, and I am definitely going to go back again next year. Those of you who listened to the show on Thursday heard already my recounting of the horrors of flying back home on United. I will not regale you with that tale again because nobody needs to hear that again. Suffice to say, just don't travel on United. Save yourself the trouble, guys. It's not worth it. United is.
So you're putting United in the same class as fuck cancer, right? Or fuck United.
No, I mean, it's not like because that's a little bit of that's a serious topic. United is they're just garbage. And garbage doesn't need to be discussed. So we'll
Yes.
just say, let the garbage continue to be garbage, and that's that.
Yeah.
But TwitchCon in of itself, an awesome time, an awesome experience. Got to meet some amazing people that I've been friends with online for a long time, and got to really just learn a lot and experience a lot that you don't get in any other sort of environment. This is the place to kind of experience that kind of stuff, and you don't get that kind of experience anywhere else. So I'm really glad that I went. I'm looking forward to going again next year, and
well, considering
no complaints.
No complaints. Well, considering
do they have it in the same place every year, or does it move around?
It moves around. It's almost always in California because of the fact that Twitch's headquarters are in California. But all the same, worth the expense. Airbnb, shout out to Airbnb for being the same cost the entire time spent at my Airbnb. The cost for the entire Airbnb reservation would be equivalent to one night at one of the hotels. So
that's good.
And the Airbnb was also quite excellent. So shout out to my Airbnb hostess who was didn't bother me at all. Didn't even didn't even come and check in on anything the whole time I was there, and was just provided great accommodations. And it was a really good experience. So overall, no complaints about TwitchCon at all.
Well, good.
Awesome. A little bit of side note. When I went to Europe, the only time that I took a hotel was when I was in Amsterdam. The rest of the moment, all Airbnb. So I had a pleasant experience. One of them even gave me candies and a bottle of cider.
Oh yeah, the best thing about it. On Friday, I got done with everything I was doing on Friday. The last thing I did on Friday was there was a big meet and greet that I went to, and after I got done at the meet and greet, I had an awesome time with the meet and greet. After I got done, I walked out of the bar where it was, and I was like, oh god, I'm actually not feeling too good. I'm dehydrated as hell. So I went back to my Airbnb, and as soon as I got back, I realized, oh, hey, my Airbnb hostess left water bottles in the fridge. And so I drank 2 bottles of water, took 4 Advil, took a nap for half an hour, and was, good as new. Great. Great stuff. And, you don't get that kind of hospitality at a hotel. They put those water bottles in the hotels where if you even open it, it's $3 charge. And,
yes.
Meanwhile, I had four little water bottles sitting in the mini fridge I was in. For me to drink whenever I was in need.
Wow.
Can't ask for better.
Yeah, it's $3 to $4. I mean, all you gotta do is take it out of the rack and it charges your room.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's it's a ripoff in the highest order. And meanwhile, in the Airbnb, I had all the hospitality I could ask for. So
which is fun.
Yeah, great stuff.
Yeah. Well,
oh boy.
I didn't everybody last week got to talk about Roman, and I've had time to reflect, and it was a shock to all of us when we were doing the Connoisseurs of Wrestling show that night.
So much so that you guys actually just stopped, right?
Yeah, we stopped. We were talking about Kane, but when this broke, we just stopped.
Yeah,
the show just came to a screeching halt, and we started talking about this,
and then just ended like a couple of hours.
No, we thought we were done with it. That show was just under an hour. So yeah, we it couldn't be done. I mean, we couldn't stay focused. Anybody, I know, Chris, you listened and you heard it when it was said. I mean, there was a absolute silence for like a minute.
Yeah,
it's like a pall just dropped. It's just
exactly.
Yeah, and it was like we made a decision on the fly to cover it.
Mm-hmm.
That was the right decision to make. Yeah.
Right decision to make. I mean, a lot of people are really, really having their opinions out for Roman Reigns, for better or worse for it. But I think a lot of them was for the better. So
and
absolutely.
And yes, Taker, Yes, Taker. I still am not mad. It's okay.
I know that. Because I talked about that on the show that Monday night. That yes, my partner here is also a leukemia survivor,
Yeah.
and is everywhere I look, and Chris, you understand this boy better than anyone. Everywhere I look, everywhere I turn, that insidious disease is there, and it's affecting somebody close to me.
Yep, hangs over everybody.
And
Yeah.
you
The only
know,
thing, I'm not saying that it's the only way to beat it. The only way to beat it, the way to beat it is just beat it and be positive about things.
yep,
Absolutely.
that's what makes my wife as strong as she is.
Mhm.
She's had
Your wife beat it twice.
She's
Your
had
wife
cancer
beat it
twice. Yes, and has beat it
Your
twice.
wife beat it twice. Roman Reigns has the honor of beating it twice. I
That's
don't.
right.
I only got it once.
You don't want to do it again. I'm telling you.
Yeah, no.
I know,
Let's
I know.
not have that be a repeat experience.
Yeah,
Please.
fine. I'm not saying that. Okay, knock on wood. I'm not saying I'm going to get it again. Knock on wood again. But
Mhm.
hopefully not. Hopefully I'll live a long and fruitful life until my
You better.
end of days.
You better. And I need you to make it over here to the US of A before
Uh-huh.
the end of your days, so that we can share some food and good times, brother.
Yes.
Oh, right. Awesome. Well,
Needs to happen.
I'm trying to make it next year. I'm about about halfway done. I'm just thinking about the Airbnb expenses. That's it. But that's just about it. Still long discussions and long what, but I think probably going to make it. Hopefully so. Just have to have a long discussion with most of the important members of the family. I'm going there alone. I'm not bringing.
Oh,
I'm
you're
not
not going with
bringing
the
my
fiance?
fiance. Yeah, I'm not
Oh,
bringing the fiance along because I think she can't really get any days off on that month. So there's that,
fair.
which is odd. But I
Well, we
always
will-
dislike the employer, so
Yeah.
kind of have a bad feeling about the employer. Anyways, but
hear you.
let's keep it at that. Let's keep it at that.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's just I sat there. I've seen so much positive support out there for Joe. I'm not calling him Roman. I'm calling him Joe because he broke his name out there. Joe is you look at him, he's an everyman.
hmm
He's basically you. He's basically me. He's basically Chris. He's basically George. He's basically everybody.
He's a generic.
basically all.
He's the generic everyman.
Yeah.
Period.
And he
Basically, if you want to go cliche, he's basically your average Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and even with
Cliche.
all of the things that set him apart from everybody else, and I went through the list on Thursday, and it's quite a long list. He is, very much, the life he lives is very much set apart from what the kind of life the rest of us live. But all the same, he is, he is right there along with the rest of us in terms of having his, everyday struggles that he has to live through.
Don't we all, in a sense, one way or another, whether we like the character Roman Reigns or not, live vicariously through that?
Yeah, that's part of the joy of wrestling is the whole
You gravitate towards the character and you live vicariously towards that character.
Exactly. Yeah, I was just having trouble figuring out the wording for it, but yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's the whole experience of we are connected with these characters in various and sundry ways, and that's the experience of being a fan.
Yeah,
is having that whole experience of being living vicariously through them in that way.
Well, it's kind of like what George said on Thursday about me. Okay, Taker's 54, I'm 54. Or no, Taker's 53, Undertaker's 53, and I'm 54.
Right.
We're a year apart, so we kind of came up together. That's why I am so attached to him. Is that I'm truly living very vicariously through him. And dude, unfortunately, I am on the wagon that Mark. It's time. Step away. It's time to walk away.
We'll touch on that a little bit later.
Yeah,
because I have a bone to pick with that main event. So I didn't watch it. Again, I maintain my stance. I didn't watch. I didn't watch Dad's show. I only know the highlights.
You
And only
almost
know
said the
what
name.
happened.
You almost said
Yeah,
the
I
name.
almost
No,
said the name.
no,
No,
don't do it.
I almost said it. That show.
CJ
That
is
show.
about as far as I'll go with it.
Yeah.
That's
Please,
all.
if you say CJ, I'm gonna remember CJ Parker. Please, no. Just please, no. Everyone remember who CJ Parker is?
I'll better yet.
Uh, the-
I'll just call it the abortion of a show, because from what I read,
I like Rev Kane's name of WWE Blood Money. That's what I really like.
That's delicious.
yeah, that makes sense. It makes a complete sense that WWE.
Yeah, or Rev Claire. I'm sorry, Rev Claire.
Rev
I'm so used to calling her Rev Kane from the Cage Side days, but it's Rev Claire is what it is. The
Rev
proper name.
Claire. All right, awesome.
Yeah.
In any
But
case,
yeah, WWE Blood Money. That's the name I'm gonna go with.
WWE Blood Money. Okay, so
It's
we
perfect.
have we have two motions on the cards today that we need to talk about. We have Evolution, and we also have which we can touch about now. I think we can talk about Evolution now. There's no
Yeah.
need for me to go say we have to stuff on the cards. We can talk about Evolution, which I'll start off with this. I was on the side of Chris as well. I was highly skeptical of the pay-per-view show for the all women's pay-per-view extravaganza Sunday night in Uniondale, New York.
Yep.
I didn't really had high expectations for the whole thing. I've said it week before, 2 weeks before. I was interested, but I'm not invested into it a little bit more than say people like Matt, or people like say Tanya, who was looking forward for it and whatnot, or Angel for that matter too, if they wanted to say go with that. But I don't know. I was proven wrong, and I'm not shy to say that. Yeah, okay, I was wrong. Congratulations, WWE. You've totally fooled me with this kind of thing. Evolution was enjoyable from start to finish. Surprisingly, even the Royal Rumble, was
You mean the battle
entertaining.
royal? You mean the battle royal?
Yeah, the battle royal. Yeah, battle royal. Even the battle royal was entertaining. Sure,
Absolutely.
it started off messy, but of course, Royal Rumbles, battle royales like that will start off messy.
Well,
If
I
you
like the way that started
immediately. Yeah,
for one simple reason.
I do. I like it, but go ahead. What?
That's the one simple reason, and I just started laughing.
Yeah. I know what you're about to say.
Yeah, the Harpies were the first two eliminated.
Yeah. Whatever.
So ironic that you actually drafted the Iconics coming in.
Yeah.
Zoomed out, but I don't think it's a knock on them. It's just go ahead.
It was the right spot to put them in as being, the right resident shitbird heels. Pardon my language. And that's been the role that they've played. I'm not upset, but like I hope that this isn't going to be a track record of them just being made to look like idiots, because they both are capable of actually doing things other than those annoying promos that I know Taker hates.
Oh God, their voices just hit that nerve on my back. They make my legs.
Yep.
It's like
I hear
and they got their signature win already. They won down in Melbourne. Okay, they went down in Australia, so that's where they're from. They're out. So, and they've been nothing but the proverbial jobber team to the Stars on SmackDown. Anyway, it seems like every time you turn around, they're losing. It's like great, wonderful. And if I look at their NXT careers, they were doing the same thing there for the most part.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Every time they got into a big important match, they'd screw it up and lose. So. But yeah, I mean, and then to have the legends be the ones to eliminate him was brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they just I'm going to say this right now: that whole show, from start to finish, was booked properly.
Yes.
Every match had time. They still got they had 7 matches, 7 or 8.
They had 7 matches, yes,
and they got it in under 3 hours.
They had
just under 3 hours.
Like I said, they had a plan,
and it was done brilliantly. Every person in the match, the right people won. Ronda looked like $1,000,000 and made Nikki Bella look good, but that's not hard for Nikki Bella to look good because Bella actually can wrestle. That
Exactly.
Bella can wrestle versus the other one.
Okay.
So
Okay. Okay, I'll give her credit. Fine, Nikki Bella can wrestle. Okay.
You better. I'll have words for you if you don't give her credit.
Okay, fine.
Thank you.
Welcome.
I take it you don't like Nikki Bella there.
I know. I love Nikki Bella.
No,
I
I'm
think
talking MDS. Obviously, he thinks he can't wrestle.
No, I don't think she can. She cannot wrestle. She can wrestle. She has improved. That's for sure. That's for damn sure. Uh, ever since she got in with her twin, and shown that she can actually improve her in-ring style and whatnot, and do that while having that kind of stigma attached to her is a like say an achievement all in itself. Because some people, some of the wrestlers that we know, or former wrestlers, women's wrestlers that we know, came in under similar circumstances to both Nikki Bella and Brie Bella. They wanted to improve, but they don't improve as much as they did.
Right. Well,
So-
Breeze still has a long way to go to be equal to Nikki.
No, she's rusty. After she had the baby, I think she'd be off. Say, either just do light training with the people in the PC, or just stick to motherhood. I'm not saying that she should not return to wrestling. It's just that has a lot of rust to clear off in a way.
What say you,
that.
Chris?
I've been one of the biggest supporters of Nikki Bella among our circle of fans since she clearly showed back in 2015, 2016 that she wanted to improve and wanted to get better. She made it very evident, and I've always since she turned that corner and showed that she was wanting to do more and to be more in the ring, I've been a big supporter of hers.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of her going out there with some of those bumps that she took with on her neck, being the way that it is.
Yeah.
But all the same, she still went out there, did what she had to do, showed herself to be quite still quite good in the ring, and really delivered a solid match with somebody who they clearly want Ronda to be a big deal, and Nikki went out there and made her look like $1,000,000.
Yeah.
But in the same sense, Ronda made Nikki look good.
Yes.
They were very complimentary to one another in the ring.
Yeah, and they didn't have to do that. Very easily could have been that Ronda went out there and no sold everything that Nikki was doing, but
they could have done that, but no,
they didn't, which was very 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 much appreciated for my part.
Yeah, this is one. I don't know whether I should say a hot take or not, but I'll give one quick take on Nikki Bella. Dare I say that she has done a Trish Stratus in a way?
I mean, well, if you want to compare, like if you want to talk about Trish right now, you want to talk about somebody who looked like they could have returned to the ring tomorrow after that match, that was insane.
Yeah,
she looked better than ever in that moment.
Yep,
she did.
Lita didn't look half bad either.
I mean, well, Lita's no. Lita very clearly
has
had
a little
some
bit of had some baggage too, and some rust, but she still looked okay.
I mean, well, she's never really looked like 100% great when she's made her returns. Like I said on Thursday, whenever they've had her back over the past couple of years, like she hasn't ever been like super great, but
No.
She's not going out there and putting people at risk and botching every move. She's still competent, clearly so. So in that regard, I've got no problem with what Lita's been doing in the ring.
But Trish,
I mean,
oh my god,
Trish.
That's
I mean, I've told from the show from the past 2 weeks, I think for the past 3 weeks, I think. Comparing, if you want to compare Shawn Michaels coming back to Trish Stratus coming back, this is how you do it. This is literally how you do a comeback. This is
Yeah.
literally how you do a one more match kind of thing.
Yeah.
And this is just successful. It's just successful. The right team went over. No one was hurt from a credibility perspective. Trish Stratus and Lita were red hot, obviously motivated by the reaction and whatnot. And
Mm-hmm.
Mickey James and Alicia Fox, credit to them. They did a solid job working around them. So
Yep. Well, yeah, we said on Thursday, Mickey James has never gotten enough credit for being consistently great anywhere that she's been, because she's always been kind of overshadowed. When she was in TNA, it was always, the Gail Kim, Austin Kong era, and then the Beautiful People and all the other groups that kind of overshadowed her. Her first WWE run, it was all Trish and Lita, and she never really got the credit for all that she did for them. Despite being involved in both of their retirement matches from their first runs. And, now coming back on her second WWE run right now, she's been overshadowed by the Horsewomen and a lot of the other younger talents that are coming up. But she's been consistently great. And, she doesn't get nearly enough credit. So kudos to Mickey James.
Right. Mickey James, I will say this, Chris, and I will tend to agree with you. Mickey James is the female worker of the year, because she goes out and she busts her ass. I mean, she's one of those that could have a wrestling match with a giant pencil, i.e. Brian Pillman, and make the pencil look good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Without a doubt.
So I give her that title of the worker of the year. I mean, yes, her entire career she's been overshadowed by one group or another, or one wrestler or another. I mean, she's been overshadowed by the Nat. I call her the Nat.
Mm-hmm.
Alexa Bliss, the Nat.
Yes.
And at least she was overshadowed by that. I mean, come on.
I mean, this was I'll admit as well, this was the match that I was not really looking forward to, and it actually set the tone for everything that I'm going to watch.
Yeah.
On the people.
It was a great opening match.
It was a great opening match, and I was worried that this is going to be just like any other return, but no, they proved me wrong, and it basically just set the tone for the whole show, and I was thoroughly blown away by it. So,
well, if you look at Trisha's eyes during that match, she was having fun.
Oh yeah.
And when a wrestler's having fun, oh shit.
I mean, I already pointed it out. They were red hot, and they were obviously motivated by the audience. They were obviously motivated by the crowd.
Yeah,
the crowd is just keep making them keep going and going, and just want to put more on the mat. It's just yeah.
Every competitor that night, from the start of the show to the end, was very clearly motivated to make this show a success, and they cared. And that I think is the greatest credit that we can give to the WWE Women's Division, is the fact that they so very clearly want this to be a successful effort.
Yeah,
they went out there and they gave their best effort every single second that they were out there.
Yeah.
Didn't matter what match they were in, didn't matter who they were facing. Every single person out there, went out there and actually gave a crap. And that's more than you can say for a lot of WWE shows and different occasions. We've seen plenty of shows where people have gone out there and very clearly been phoning it in because of the fact that they can tell. And this is one of the biggest indictments of WWE. It's very easy to tell when the talent realizes that the match they're in means nothing.
Mm-hmm. And every match there, even though a lot of them didn't have any stakes.
Yeah.
The women just went out there and, they're like, well, what was the old expression they say about the Attitude Era? The first match would go out there and come back after they're done, come back to their back. Okay, go out and top that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what it seemed like they were doing. Each match, there was no cool down match.
No.
There was no bathroom break match. You took your bathroom break if you were watching on the network, you took your bathroom break when the ads were up. He was like, "Oh, I got a chance."
Yeah, run.
because you didn't want to miss any of them.
Yeah.
Of course not, because that's how you know that this show is hooking me in. I don't want to miss anything. So there's that. I don't want to go to bathroom breaks. No, I don't want to go to food.
No.
So, Please go ahead.
And I'm sitting there, and it's like that was the most enjoyable, the 3 hours was over before you knew it.
Yeah, that was the other great thing about it. This show had no like there was no moment of it being a dead space or anything.
No,
Oh no, there's not.
They
I mean,
they killed it.
everything was paced. Yeah, everything was paced perfectly. Even the 20 women battle royale was paced perfect. Most of the things, it's just everything was good timing and good timing and good timing. It's like they hit this mark, they hit this mark, they hit this mark. It's like, okay, you have 10 minutes. Do everything in the 10 minutes, and they did. So
Yeah.
for example,
everybody was able to get their shit in and tell a great story. But the thing about it is that rumor has it Vince was not there,
oh, of course not.
which
Wasn't there?
which says a lot.
Well, thank God for that.
Oh man! But now that the next one he'll be there.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I told you, Taker, in the messages, this had.
Triple H's fingerprints all over it, and I agree.
Yep.
I feel like it has the hallmarks of a Triple H made production, and it shows, because every single thing, it was about the wrestling. It was every single match on that card. It was about wrestling. There's no backstage segments. There was no backstage segments that were meaningless. There were no promos that were just cut for the sake of promos. It was cut for the sake of that match card itself. That's it. And that was. I mean, I think the only I don't know whether I wanted to say that this is a nitpick, because yeah, I'm crazy about nitpicking, but is it just me, or could Shirai and Storm got off in a great match? Just fell short. Because this just fell short.
I think it was the fact that they only had 10 minutes, and like George gave a good counterpoint on that it was paced like a Joshi match, like it would have been if they were having a match in Stardom. Which that makes sense, and that is certainly valid. But by the same token, I was like, watching that, and again, probably just because these are two of my favorites, and I want them to have the most time possible. It felt like they had the least amount of spotlight compared to others. So that was somewhat disappointing, but all the same, they still went out there and killed it, and had a match equal to every other classic that they've had in Stardom, and they've had some classics in Stardom. Taker, at some point, I'm going to have to give you like just a series of great Stardom matches to watch for your own just education, because I know that there's a lot of that talent that I know you want to like, and that you want to get better information on.
I'm sure. I mean, that's where Asuka was at before she came here. That's where Io was at before she came here.
Yep.
That's where Kairi was. Kairi Hojo.
Yep.
There's three right there from Stardom, and all three of them were champions of Stardom at one point or another.
Yeah. Well, actually, I don't know. Asuka was actually Asuka was Tokyo Joshi Pro, if I recall correctly. But still, that whole Joshi scene, that's where it all started.
There are so many.
Needs more exposure. Joshi wrestling scene needs more exposure. That's pretty much it.
It absolutely does.
It does, and that is something that maybe you should try to exploit there, MDS.
I mean, as much as I like to go off on the deep end and go take Joshis that are there just for the sake of getting laughs or whatnot, there are some Joshi wrestlers. There are some actually women wrestlers like Chris Wolf, who is hugely underrated. Hugely underrated. There's a lot of huge underrated stars. I mean, even if you want me to point one Joshi wrestler, there's none, because a lot of them has potential, even though they've been given a comedic act, like say Reika Saiki, the one half of the Lady Beard tag team partner. You would say that this is like a joke partner, a Joshi partnered up with a huge large guy with a beard who wears a gothic Lolita outfit, actually wears a maid outfit into wrestling ring. You'd say that's ridiculous, but no, actually the girl can actually wrestle, and she has she has some upside that she can have on the DDT Pro Wrestling scene, or if she want to go forward, she can go to Stardom or whatnot. But
and even acts that aren't necessarily as outright jokes. Like take somebody like Jungle Kiona, who has a gimmick that is, a little bit eyebrow raising at its best, and she still goes out there and freaking kills it with that gimmick, and it's great.
Because it's more. I think it's more for the Joshis. It's not the character in and of itself. The character is one facet of your in-ring character in and of itself. What you bring to the wrestling mat, that's another. That's the more important thing that they wanted to push out altogether.
Well,
Exactly.
I know something that Chris saw this past week or on that show actually that I saw it. I made note of it in my head, and I made note of it on a piece of paper. Rhea Ripley was ringside.
Yes.
Mm.
Okay, and her clapping.
I'm not gonna give spoilers, but she also was in the dark match at the beginning of the show.
Yes.
But I'm not gonna talk about that because spoilers. But all the same, God, I love her so much in character.
Ever since she tapped out, ever since he tapped into this heel persona of hers, starting from this year, she's been doing ridiculous amount of things. It just catches on. It's just
the thing is at first you see her doing that, and then later on this week, the Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
When is my favorite bench warmer? Nixon Tegan Knox WWE with the crutch.
I saw that. I was like, "Oh, own it, girl! Just fucking own it."
she's a master, and she's 22. She's 22 years old, and she's already a master at this, better than people who have been doing this for 3 times as long as her.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
On one end. And I was thinking, okay, you done enough. I'm gonna send. Please let me wish for Shayna Baszler to come whip your ass or something.
Stop! She's already dead.
I mean, Rhea Ripley is just tearing the house down with her healing.
Yeah.
And if WWE does not make this, if NXT does not make this an angle, when Tegan Knox come back, they're missing the boat completely.
I have no doubt that Triple H and all the Performance Center coaches have said to her, "You better keep this up for as long as Tegan is on the shelf, so that when she comes back, you two can have a freaking banger series of matches because they're 2 of the best young talents in the world."
They're going. I can see them main eventing Takeover Brooklyn next year.
Well, I mean, who knows how long it's going to take Tegan to come back, but yeah. When Tegan comes back, the Tegan Knox Rhea Ripley series of matches that will happen, because it will be a series of matches.
Oh yes,
but the series of matches that will happen between the 2 of them will be legendary. Absolutely.
I think the ultimate blow-off match would be another last woman standing between Tegan Knox and Rhea Ripley.
Yeah,
and it would. The one match of the year last year for me was Asuka versus Nikki Cross. That match, bar none, outshined everything that the WWE and NXT put out last year.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Not because it was Asuka, not because I just love Asuka. It was the actual story that they told.
Yeah,
and
killed it.
And at the end, even though Nikki Cross lost, she's laying on her back after going off the 16-foot ladder through the announce table. She's laying on her back, laughing.
Yeah, she killed it.
Laughing. They're knowing we just owned everybody here. We just owned everybody. Y'all are a bunch of bitches. We owned you.
Yep. It was perfect. That match was one of the best spectacles I've ever seen from 2 performers. Yes. They both killed it.
Speaking of last women standing matches, holy shit! Becky versus Charlotte.
Legendary match. Those 2 tore it down. Thank God WWE did not pull the whole Charlotte wins because blonde thing. Thank God for that. If you needed proof as to Vince not being there, there's your proof right there. The right woman went over.
Yes.
And for the right reasons.
For the right reason.
that match. I was sitting there at points in that match, actually jumping in my seat, and reacting to what was going on.
Yeah.
The suplexes off of that, and I'm sitting there bouncing in the seat, going, "Ugh!" And it's like, what's wrong with me? I'm 54 years old. I'm acting like I'm 19 years old. I'm like, wait a minute, what's wrong with me? I got drawn in. I got sucked into this thing.
Giddy. Yeah.
Mhm.
And you know what?
You got
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all.
Because
You mean-
basically what Evolution was to me is what you saw in Evolution was more of the old school style of wrestling. You saw actual wrestling.
And more importantly, regardless of style, that's what wrestling is supposed to be like for people who are watching it. It's supposed to be an experience that makes you like, not, giddy and, excited about what you're watching. That's what it's supposed to be. It shouldn't be an experience where you're just cringing the whole damn time.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the Cringe Fest was yesterday. So I've been told.
Yeah.
WWE Blood
Never
Money
mind.
Cringe Fest. But anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll tend to agree because I believe in a sense that in a pay-per-view you should be introducing or you should be exposing the audiences to a plethora of wrestling styles and wrestling techniques and wrestling caveats that you can have in a way.
Exactly.
If you want hard hitting, if you want a hardcore hard hitting match, yeah, well, last women standing match, Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch. You want to see something that you haven't really seen before. You watch Tony Storm and Io Shirai battle it out for the Mae Young Classic.
Oh
right?
my God.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
That was
you want something a little bit closer. Yeah, you want something a little bit closer to that, a little bit closer to a WWE production, but still maintains those kind of things. Watch Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler just duke it out for the NXT Women's Championship.
yeah.
You want an old. You have your
I
6
didn't-
women
I
tag
didn't-
match
I have an opinion. I didn't like the finish of that match at all.
No, neither did I.
for
For Kairi Shayna. I was not a fan of the outcome. And like,
I mean, I'll give you a point. I'll give you one point that I could find on this though. Is it better for Shayna Baszler to get the 2-time NXT Women's Champion or let Kairi Sane carry the belt? Even though I think, in my personal opinion, it feels a little bit rushed because it puts her on the spotlight a little bit too soon because she won the Mae Young Classic and then suddenly boop, NXT Women's title.
Well, I mean, it was almost a year between when she won the Mae Young versus when she won the title. She won the title to take over Brooklyn this year. Let me reiterate what I said on Thursday, and this was my biggest gripe. The only gripe that I really had with the show was the outcome of this match. I look at the result of that match, and I see Shayna's now back on top, and she's always been booked as this like unstoppable killer that it takes a monumental effort to defeat. And now suddenly she also has 2 running mates, 2 lackeys who are going to be, helping her along the way. And I look at that and I say to myself, well, shit. Then if she's got these buddies who are going to be helping her along the way, then how does anybody have any possibility of stopping her? And that's really the issue, is that when you had Kairi as the champion, having babyface Kairi Sane as the champion, who you can then use to elevate everybody else in the division and build them up, because there are a lot of unfamiliar faces in that division that they haven't been able to build up because of the fact that they've been cycling people out, slowly as people have been getting promoted to the main roster. And so, as that has gone on, people are starting to try, recognize who's new coming into the division. It's very hard to see at that point, how anybody's going to be able to get any sort of development when at the end of the line they have the unstoppable killer standing in their way with her 2 lackeys that'll make sure that when it all is said and done, that she gets the win. So for my money, having Shayna get the win there does nothing to help her, because she's already been established as being this unstoppable force that's already been set in stone. That's known. And then from there you just get to the point where it's like, well, what do we do now? How do we develop anybody from here? And that's really the problem. It's like there's really no way to develop anybody from this point on.
So, I mean, I'll agree on that because attaching Shayna Baszler next to the Four Horsewomen, if you want to call it that now, not really necessarily the best way to help her form her own identity in NXT or in WWE for that matter, because she's actually just established. She's the thing that you need to push now is just push Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke. That's it.
Well, and that's the other thing though for my money is that putting the two of them out there now and like establishing their partnership is only going to enhance all the discussion of when's it going to be Four Horsewomen versus Four Horsewomen? It's got to happen, and then everybody's going to just say, okay, so when are we going to get that? And
next year,
that's all that anybody's going to talk about at that point.
Yeah, but they completely forget the point that Shafir and Duke hasn't really fully developed yet. Shafir and Duke hasn't really been that. Sure, they actually did work a few house shows and whatnot for NXT, but they're not out there yet. So what do you? Out there yet,
so it's like, well, what do you do then? Because it's like then now that they're out there again.
Yeah, now that Baszler is the champ, and then you have Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir as the lackeys, you're gonna relegate these two to just being lackeys.
And it's very clear that they want to milk Ronda's status as long as possible as a babyface.
Yes.
When it does come time for them to all come together, it's very much easier to turn Ronda heel than it is to turn Shayna, Marina, and Jessamine babyface.
Yes.
So they need to start setting up that angle now. And for my money, what I came up with this on Thursday night, and it was like the best possible thing you could have thought of. Why not have Shayna lose, not have Marina and Jessamine get involved in any way, and then from there, 2 days later, Becky comes out on SmackDown, has has the title, and cuts a promo saying that she's superior to everyone in the women's division. Then all of a sudden, bam! How comes Shayna, Marina, and Jessamine as a gang, and have them run roughshod on Becky, and bam, there you go. You've established them as a force to be reckoned with. You've brought them to the main roster, which is clearly the end game, and then you can set them up to continue from there.
Well, and here's I'm going to add to that, Chris, because I'm listening to what you're saying and having it be Becky get destroyed. Great. Now, mind you, they've been promoting on SmackDown Live that Becky has basically alienated all the women in the locker room, all the men, women, everybody. She alienated everybody in the locker room.
Yes.
So she has no friends.
Yes.
So
and that's the easiest way to turn her babyface.
Yeah. Now she has to turn around and grovel and all this to try to get everybody, the original, the WWE horsewomen all together. She has to set aside all of it. Yes, eat crow and be humble and all of that, and basically beg and plead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they can build that all the way to some Survivor Series next November, a year from now.
Yeah, because I think they already sown the seeds for that, considering the fact that they already promoted Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch, champion versus champion on Survivor Series this year.
Yes.
And I see that as a nobody wins.
It's a stepping stone in a way.
Nobody wins on that one. Absolutely.
It's just basically I'm sowing the seeds for you guys to say, oh, this is gonna be the start of Four Horsewomen versus Four Horsewomen. Cool. Maybe. I don't know. I'm speculating. So there's that.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, what else should we gush about on Evolution? A lot of the matches are great. I mean, even the main event was.
How about this one? Io Tony.
We already talked about that, even though we kind of nitpick on it. I nitpick on it, actually.
But like I even with the nitpicks, I still think that was a great match. I'm very happy about how it turned out. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of Joshi fans that are upset that Io didn't win, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Nah.
Io made Tony Storm look great. Was what
Storm made Shirai look great too.
Yes,
So,
yes. And there again, Tony Storm, 23 years old. She has a clue.
She's great. She is great.
She has, I don't know, she's dripping charisma in a way. If I want to be,
yeah,
it's a testament to how great Australian women's wrestling is. That like she at 22 and Rhea Ripley at 22 are both just such incredible talents,
and they're
killing it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you have able hands like Peyton Royce and Billy Kay. And then if you want to go down a little bit, you have a New Zealander in the form of Dakota Kai. There's that too.
Yeah.
So
like
many great.
It's like a hotbed of talents coming out from there, especially for women's talent. So
if you think about it, a lot of fans remember Down Under wrestlers as the Bushwhackers. That was all we had for the longest time. And
yes, and now you can
look
actually
what you got coming out of there, and it's like, whoa.
The Australian wrestling scene is probably one of the hottest hotbeds of talent that there is in the entire world.
And,
and Japan, the U.S., and Britain are the ones that normally get all of the notice,
all the pub,
But Australia
is where you want to develop. If you're from around, say, Southeast Asia, or you're around there and thereabouts, if you want to try and make it to the Australian Wrestling Federation. There's where you really want to know. Because I know from someone who followed me on Twitter that there's a small wrestling independent scene right down in Malaysia where she lives, and she actually watched it about a month ago, I think, over at Kuala Lumpur. So there's that. So like I said, it's starting to grow. The grassroots of it is starting to grow. But if you want to start going off from Southeast Asia to a more publicly recognized spot, go down to Australia, go down to New Zealand, I guess, because you have NJPW scouts down there. You have WWE scouts down there too now. You even have say Progress and Evolve scouts down there too. Just eyeing talent.
Everybody's going all around the world looking for the greatest talent.
Yes.
It's like amazing. I'm amazed that Matt Riddle didn't get snapped up by NJPW. WWE got him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Matt Riddle being how he is with the green, he is much less likely to be allowed around in Japan, given their stance about drug use.
Yes.
So
because he's a very huge proponent of the green, so he likes to get high. He enjoys getting high.
and more power to the guy. I'm not gonna cast judgment on anybody for their personal habits, but he definitely.
Over here, no, it's a no. Basically, it's a basic no. If you do drugs, no, we look at you differently. No way.
Yeah.
Well, but I mean, okay, you want to gush about Shirai and Storm, you can do that. But
there's
again, it's a good match. It's a good match. The only nitpick I can throw is that the only nitpick I can give is the one I gave earlier on. It's just it felt like it could be more. So there's that.
Yeah.
But I think it's just because they wanted to introduce this is how Joshi wrestling is supposed to be in a way.
Yeah, and I think that also when you get right down to it, there's also a component to it that the two of them having the history that they do. There's very little doubt in my mind that they will cross paths again, and they will be they will fight each other again in the maybe not the near future, but it will definitely happen at some point in the future.
Well, maybe toss the Shirai over at NXT UK and just challenge her for the UK. Am I spoiling stuff? Sorry.
Actually, no, you're not. Surprisingly, so
okay, good.
I see what you were saying about Rhea Ripley being in the dark match. Wow.
Yeah.
That looks like hopefully it was taped and it'll be released because it sounds like oof. And I'm just sitting here looking. I'm sitting here looking at match times. It didn't feel like it was this long, but Becky and Charlotte, 28:40.
Yeah,
damn near 30 minutes, and it didn't feel like it.
Not at all.
Not at all. I mean, here's the thing, though. Before I go to the one match that we all missed, let's compare both last women standing match and the main event itself. I mean, if you see it now, you'd argue that yeah, maybe you can switch up these two because maybe Ronda Rousey and Nikki Bella can can just have the second to last match, and then have Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair have that main event. Because before this, if you go in, I can't see why Ronda Rousey gets the main event spot unless you want to argue that yeah, this is for getting her into a more mainstream, getting the mainstream ratings, which is exactly what it is. I'm trying to look away from that because that's the obvious thing that screamed at me in the face. We put Ronda Rousey in the main event spot because we want more mainstream attraction. Yes, I know.
Yeah, well, that's why they're keeping her as a babyface too. As going back to what I was saying about Shayna and the Horsewomen, they are keeping Ronda as a babyface because she is someone that they can send out to TV shows who's a publicly recognizable face, and she can go about and say, "Yeah, no, I used to do MMA, but now I'm also doing this thing that you should totally come and check out and see, all these new things." And then bam, oh yeah, we've got suddenly all these new people who would otherwise not be fans of the product, or at the very best be casuals, who are now watching because they have this recognizable face.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I mean, if you want to compare it now, if you want to do the analysis a bit now, I think I'd say, well, if you want me to really pick, I'd say Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair, pretty much one match of the night for the whole card.
Yes. No, but Io and Tony was a very close second.
Oh yeah,
very close second as well.
And even a close third is Trish and Lita versus the tag match, the Trish Stratus and Lita match.
Yep.
That was great. I mean, there was no cool down match on this card at all. I'm looking at the card again. I'm like,
heck, if you want to go pull hairs about the cool down match, even the 6-women tag match was fun.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean there was no, like I said earlier, there was no match to use a line that George uses to go make Thai food run.
Yeah,
here's the thing, and here's the freaking thing. I did not expect Riot Morgan and Logan actually meshed together and pulled out a lot of psychology wrestling tactics for the 6-women tag.
Yeah,
because their teamwork, their execution of the spot, almost flawless. Where is this Riot Squad? I need this Riot Squad in SmackDown right now.
No, this is what we've had on SmackDown, and that's the thing. Every opportunity that they've had to go out, to their greatest.
Raw.
Yeah.
Raw. Yeah, Raw. Okay.
Like every opportunity that they've had to go out and seize an opportunity in front of them, they've done it to the best of their ability, and they're not always granted what the time and the opportunities and the agenting necessary to make the best of it, but they still do everything that they possibly can.
Exactly. Yes. I mean, if they put together the women's tag belts, I say have that be an interbrand.
Mm-hmm.
Either brand could be involved because the women's roster is very small.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and you Freebird rule it with the Riot Squad.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing, but you actually wanted to do a Freebird when you usually vehemently deny on Freebird?
On a tag belt. I won't do it on a singles belt.
Okay.
I do not want it on a singles belt. And Chris, I think he would agree with me. Single belts are supposed to stay with one person.
Oh yeah, no. Freebirding a singles belt, it's just icky.
Okay.
But freebirding a tag belt works just fine. Look at New Day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Put the women's belt on Riot Morgan and Logan right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Women's tag belts, and let them run.
And
everybody said Liv Morgan was either going to go to the deep end of the pool and sink or swim. Well, she's still swimming. She's still
swimming. She's not drowning.
Nope.
She's not drowning either. She's not drowning either. She's still putting up the good fight for herself.
The reason I believe is this is that she's got a great mentor in Ruby Riot.
Yeah. Look,
she is mentoring these two, and if you see, there's little subtle things now that they do.
Well, there's less mentoring needed for Sarah Logan because she's been on the indie scene as well. I think it's the two of them combined are mentoring Liv Morgan a lot. And I said recently, and I will reiterate this. Liv Morgan is one of the very few people that I've seen who, after coming up to the main roster from the PC, has made a vast improvement and been, much better.
Yeah.
And
go ahead.
A big portion of that credit definitely goes to Ruby Riott and Sarah Logan for mentoring her and teaching her how to be better, not just as being a sports entertainer, but also as being an in-ring worker.
Oh, and let's not knock off on both Sasha Banks, Bailey, and Natalia. They did put up a very valiant fight, especially Sasha Banks. She sold the whole face in peril. She sold the face in peril excellently in this match. I mean,
she was great.
She did a fantastic job of selling the pain, selling the agony she found herself in at times, before she got out from it and whatnot. And I'd say in what was arguably the most lethargically tired built match on the show. These 6 women actually you want to give us, if you want to give us chicken shit, okay, we'll give you excellent chicken salad. That's it.
Yeah, this was the match that they very clearly put the least amount of investment into, and the 6 of them still killed it.
Yeah. And the least build, and this is I call this the sleeper match of the night.
Yeah,
this was the match that snuck up. They had it in that spot, the quote unquote cool down spot, and they're like, no. We're gonna go out. We're gonna go out and get the crowd even hotter, and that's exactly what happened. You said Sasha sold the face in peril. So did Bailey.
Yeah.
But Bailey's always been the one that's the face in peril because she's always been the uber baby face, and I'm just so happy to be here. Please.
But here's the thing: the focus, the onus goes more on Sasha Banks because she sold it. She sold more of it now. Usually, you'd see her as the kind of like the take no prisoners kind of style wrestler. Over here, she's fighting all 3 people at the same time and just being that. She's basically been put in the Bailey spot more than Bailey was being put in the Bailey spot. So
right.
There's that.
You look at how that match ended. Natalia hit the discus lariat. Was that? Then you had the Bailey to belly. Then you had the frog splash off the top rope from Sasha. I mean, they all hit some form of a signature move or finisher.
Yep.
And it's great. And then there's Bailey protecting Sasha when someone goes to do a top rope jump and she's throwing her body over Sasha.
Yeah. That was a great moment. That was a really awesome moment. And I'll reiterate what George said. Like there were some people who were out there, arguing that the Riot Squad should have run because they had the more cohesive unit. The optics of that, having the 2 people who have been the most ardent supporters of women's wrestling and the biggest proponents of this revolution being a thing, having them lose would have been really bad.
Well, if you look at it, everybody that has been a big proponent of the evolution and revolution that's going on basically went over, with the exception of Nikki Bella.
And Charlotte, but yeah.
And Charlotte, but yeah.
But I'll give an underrated shout out to, say, the commentary team, especially to Michael Cole, because in this match in particular, he put over just how important, in particular, Bailey, Banks, and Natalia have been to the evolution of women's wrestling. He actually sold the whole fact. So,
well, you look at Natalia. She's a connection to the Diva era on that team.
Natalia and the Bellas are basically the only ones left, and Alicia Fox to an extent. But they're like the only ones who are left of that time.
They're only ones who are left on serving active duty on the wrestling promotion.
Well, Mickey James too. She was part of that.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
But she wasn't much of a player back then either.
Yeah. But she wasn't. Yeah, she wasn't much of a player because she gets overshadowed by, like Chris said, she gets overshadowed.
Right.
Basically, she gets overshadowed.
Yeah, she's
wherever she goes, she's got overlooked and overshadowed by other names. So.
Yeah. Which in one sense is sad.
Absolutely.
Which is sad, but I think Mickey
James
doesn't really mind it because she's a workhorse. I think she believes. I think she believes she's a workhorse in the same mold as Natalia. But if you give her the main spotlight, she'll treat it as such.
Yeah, Mickey is definitely I would say Mickey is definitely a superior character worker to Natalia. So that's why I think she does a little bit better in some of those spots.
Yes.
But either way, she is also kind of a representative of that time period. Not necessarily as much because of her absence when she went to TNA, but still she is also one of the last people left.
The question I have is this though. The question I have is this though. Does Mickie James deserve a gold watch run with the belt? Yes or no?
I don't know if I it's hard to say for gold watch runs in WWE. It's very different because the belts are so often viewed as less important. It's not like in New Japan where the belt is like not necessarily the be all end all, but is a huge
shot in the arm
cap.
in a way. Yeah.
A
feather in the arm, a shot in the cap.
Well, if you look at SmackDown right now, Becky's making that belt seem like it's more important than anything in the world. I.e., you look at what Miz did with the IC title.
The SmackDown Women's Championship is right now the most important belt in the company
because Becky is making it so.
Yeah,
Becky is pulling a page out of Miz's book with how she's talking it, and hey, after the blue belt, the women's blue belt being bounced around like it was and stuck on Alexa Bliss forever. Look at how and then she moves over to the Raw, has 2 runs. Or 2 or 3 runs with the Raw Women's Championship. Those belts were made worthless. Now you've got Becky pushing the shit out of the SmackDown Women's Championship, and you got Ronda, who's actually making that belt seem more legit, even though it's got the longer history. You're going back to the original women's belt, then the Diva belt, and now it's back to a women's title. It has the more history. But Ronda being a legit badass is making that seem like what's more important. So you got having this match coming up at Survivor Series between those two, between Becky and Ronda. It's gonna be a solid match. I can already see it.
Unfortunate that Becky's gonna lose that match, but it is what it is.
I don't think anybody's losing. I think it's gonna be a schmozz finish and now a no decision or a double count out of some kind. Something's gonna happen where nobody loses, nobody wins. But everybody looks good. And I don't see a problem with that at all. I don't. Does anybody else?
I mean, in all honesty, I've never really been a great proponent of the whole, interbrand warfare. That's never really been a thing that I've, liked. So, in that sense, it's like, whatever. If we have a schmozz finish, doesn't mean as much. But I still think that in the end, Ronda is going to come out looking better than Becky, unless they have it be that's where Nia Jax makes her move and goes for her title shot or something. I don't know.
Which I can see that happening too.
I don't know.
Or we see Charlotte come out and cause a distraction long enough for Becky to lose. That way, it's not a solid win. Becky gets distracted by Charlotte. Because Charlotte's out there again. What are you doing out here? This, that, and the other. Roll up, 1, 2, 3 over before Becky knows what hit her.
Possibly.
It's an option if they wanted to do that. I think.
Yeah.
it's an option. It's a way to put it over, but
doesn't mean it's a good one.
Yeah, doesn't mean it's a good one, but I'll concede that it's an option. It's a decent amount. It's decent enough of an option.
And that way, it doesn't make Becky look bad.
Yeah,
or at least not look as bad.
Right. Right. The dastardly heel gets hers by being distracted.
Yeah. In a way.
That's what how WWE will sell it anyway. Even though
because they're still trying to make it that Becky's the bad guy in this whole thing, even though like 80% of the crowd is cheering for her. And that's why I wanted them to do the whole thing of, bring up Shayna and Marina and Jessamine to, take her on, because they need to. It comes to a certain point in time when you have to be willing to, cut the crap with what you want it to be and just follow along with what the crowd wants it to be.
Yeah.
There's so many ways they can go with this.
Yeah.
and not and all of them are solid.
True.
So
True. All of them are solid, if not good. So there is that. There's a positive caveat to that. So
coming off of this pay-per-view, which I was cautiously optimistic about with the women. I was cautiously optimistic about it.
okay.
And phew, they killed it.
Basically, yeah.
Overall, they killed it.
They did.
Mhm.
They did.
They did.
Good on
Can't
them.
argue against that.
Good on
No.
them.
Absolutely.
And it sets a template. I do not know. I'm pretty sure they have it over in Japan. MDS, you'd be better to tell me or not. That the Joshi Puro, the women's wrestling over there, they have their own like pay-per-views.
They have not as prevalent as WWE is doing, but they have.
Yeah, to some extent.
But this will also push the rest of the world to move that direction. I could see it happening.
Watch more women's wrestling. Probably.
I could see it happening with Impact now. They see this is working.
Promoting their knockouts division.
Yeah, and putting them on their own kind of pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Maybe this is going to come now that WWE has done it and has actually made money off of it, which they did. They sold the venue out. The worst venue in the entire state of New York to be in.
Yeah, and again, that just is further along on what I was saying before about how they gave this every indication that they did not give a shit about whether this card succeeded or not.
Yeah,
and the women went out there and said it gave did the old Stone Cold double fingers at Vince and said we're going to make this work, and they did.
They did.
They did.
Can't say much about it.
Because I don't have anything bad to say about the show at all.
Nope.
But it's basically the onus of put in interesting wrestling match, pay-per-view or match card, and they'll come. It's still wrestling. You'd be as hard as it is to say to some people, even though they're getting their fingers burnt plenty of times, especially in regards to women's wrestling, they still want to see the spark where that moment where they can actually genuinely say, this is actually pretty good. This is actually starting to feel like it's turning over a new leaf, even though it's temporary, even though it's just for this moment and whatnot. But it actually makes the crowd, the audience, leave with a smile on their face and a good feeling in their heart. So in a sense, you succeeded.
I mean,
that's all there is to it. So.
That crowd was hot the whole night.
Yeah.
Yes. Can't say much about it.
Thank goodness for that too.
Thank goodness for that. I mean, I'd say hands down, if this is actually proven to have 100% Triple H's fingerprints, this is just a taste of what is to come if he takes over.
Yes.
It's just a taste. If he takes over for the main roster.
It'll be more.
And hopefully
more wrestling than it is entertainment.
Yes, that's really what it comes down to, as being the most important thing. It should be more about wrestling than actual, so the sport, quote unquote sports entertainment.
Yeah. Although
I want there to be more of a focus.
Yeah. Although again, I'll have to harp on compliments for Nikki Bella, and I think Chris is gonna love this. From a former soccer player turned model to diva search reject to underdeveloped in-ring competitor, finally longest reigning women's champion of the modern era. She has grown. If people are saying that she's not fit to be a wrestler, please check back the history that she had done. I mean, she's a former soccer player. She turned model. She got rejected by Diva Search and then came into WWE completely underdeveloped, and then developed herself to become one of the longest reigning, if not the longest reigning women's champion of the modern era. So that deserves
the longest
something.
reigning Divas champion.
Yeah, that deserves something.
Yeah.
I mean, to hell with it. Don't say divas. Just say women's champion.
Okay,
just give the credit that she deserves. That.
I will say this. And I know this is a hot take, ladies. This is going to be a hot take, folks. Very hot take.
Sure,
Nikki Bella for WWE Hall of Fame after she retires.
Oh, absolutely. That's not a hot take in the least.
Yeah, she changed the complexion of the Divas division at that time, where she actually proved that someone who looks good like a model like her can actually wrestle, can actually change the outcome of herself, and
Yeah.
actually become a wrestler. So
It makes you wonder how much Natty had to do with that, because
Mhm.
those two are very tight,
mhm.
just like Natty and Ronda are tight. That's
Yep.
who I give credit. That's who I give credit to for Ronda's massive improvement over such a short period of time. Is Natty? Natty has a way of teaching people. You know, Natty when she gets retires from in ring, she'll be down in Orlando teaching the kids.
Yes.
Or if not, get her a Hall of Famer ring first.
Right.
Get her ring first, then we'll send her to the performance center. Or either or, either or. I'm not arguing on that one. Either or.
Yeah.
But anyway, anything else that we can wax lyrical on this one?
No,
Mm.
that
I
pretty much
mean,
covers
I enjoyed it.
Evolution.
I enjoyed
Yeah,
it.
I enjoyed it a great deal. And then, like I said this at the beginning, best pay per view of the year for WWE main roster, and
I'm
it's not
surprised.
particularly close.
Yeah,
No.
I'm shocked. I'm surprised that they actually pulled this off, and I'm happy to eat my words, being skeptical as I am. So in the beginning, anyway.
For me, it's not that I'm surprised that they pulled it off. It's more that I am
Glad they
like-
pulled it off.
I'm vindictively glad that in the
Wait,
in,
no,
the, in,
not
the mo- in the
vindictive.
moment of WWE basically saying, "Haha, we're going to give you guys the shit end of the stick and make sure that this is a failure," and they said, "Yeah, nice try, next."
I mean, I think you meant vindicated more than just vindictive.
No. I'm vindictive against WWE
Okay.
management. Absolutely
All right,
vindictive.
All right.
That is
is one-
100%. That is 100% what I meant to say.
All right, okay. This is one huge finger to WWE for trying to screw. No,
Yep.
they actually did.
Mhm.
this pay-per-view that Evolution pay-per-view. I'm going to say this has it's surprised. I was cautiously optimistic. They pulled it off brilliantly. It was brilliantly done.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's laying, they want more of it. Stephanie has already said there's going to be more. That's fantastic. Great. Keep Vince out of it.
Mhm. Please.
Please.
Give the women their own brand and their own show on the network.
I'm less a fan of that option.
I could see it. Give them a 90-minute slot on a WWE network on Thursdays, a quiet night.
See, that's the thing, though. You say that, and that in theory, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
But you and I both know, Taker, that, and you also, MDS. You and I, we all know that it's very easily could be WWE just says, "Oh well, nobody really cares about women's wrestling, so let's stick this on Sunday nights at 11:30 p.m."
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
number
that-
one and number two, and that's the important thing. The other factor is that all of us actually have argued about how bloated the WWE schedule is, and you want to add another segment that WWE can actually shunt around. Okay, if this doesn't work, like Chris said, we're gonna shunt it to say Sunday at 11:30 p.m.
Mhm.
Because of an already packed schedule of WWE week on the WWE network itself. You have this,
Yep.
this, and this.
Yeah.
And that, including with the pay-per-view that they need to do, NXT that they wanted to do, WWE Raw and SmackDown house shows that they want to do, or tape shows that they want to do, live shows actually, not tape shows. But I digress. I mean, we'll take it as it comes. If they want to put it, hopefully they'll put it somewhere where it's feasible enough and to get more exposure. Not if they don't really put a women's only wrestling segment or wrestling show on a weekly basis, then that's fine either. I mean, I'm not, as long as the women keep on bringing it on the table on important pay-per-view events like this one, it just gets more eyeballs into the product. So, in a sense, all in all, it's a good thing. Anyway,
Yeah.
Anywho,
I have faith in Triple H when he takes over.
Okay.
all right.
I have faith in that. Let's hope that and with what's the word? With the move next year to Fox, and what Fox is already wanting. They want it to be more sports oriented than entertainment oriented. Oh, please. Yes. It's perfect timing for Vince to go. Time for me to go bye-bye. I got to go concentrate on the XFL.
Please.
Don't concentrate on that. Put Triple H in charge and call it good.
Call it a night or call it a day.
Call it a day, Vince.
Yeah.
You know, man, please. I've never said this before. I've never said it as loudly and as forcefully as I'm saying it now. Vince, you need to retire. You are out of touch.
Yeah.
I think he is suffering from some brain damage from the concussions he got during the Attitude and Ruthless Aggression era.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Vince, it's time to go. Bye-bye. Nice. It's been real and it's been fun, but it ain't been real fun. Goodbye.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Yeah, don't let the door hit you on the ass on the way out.
Thanks for playing. See you next time.
Thanks for playing.
Which hopefully next time is never, but that's
Thanks for playing. Thanks for playing the WWE wrestling promotion. We'll see you probably never.
Yeah, please let it be never.
Here's your door. Here's your door bag for
here's your door prize.
Complimentary door prize before
here's your complimentary party gifts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I have to say this though too. In one sense, we have to thank Vince for what he's done.
I mean, well, we have to. We should. I don't want to say thank necessarily. It's good to recognize the fact that without him, the company, the company. It's important to recognize, yes, that without him, the company would not have, become what it is. That's absolutely, worth mentioning.
Right.
But, I don't want to say thank him though, because I feel like in a lot of ways, the damage he has done has outweighed the positive that he initially brought.
True.
Like, if you put it on a scale, in the end, the negatives are going to outweigh the positives. In my personal opinion.
But overall, I mean, he's done quite a job with wrestling.
He did quite a job.
Yeah.
Until he decided he didn't want to be a wrestling promoter anymore.
Yeah.
And once he decided he was just ashamed of wrestling being what he made him his billions, he decided, what, I'm gonna pretend to be Hollywood now. And here we are.
But he gave us what we've been screaming for about 2 years now, ever since the women's revolution started. We've all been saying they need their own pay-per-view. They need their own pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And they finally gave it to us, and they gave us a solid card, even though they had no promotion of it really.
Yeah.
Little to none. But they gave us such a solid card, and these women went out and just every match they tried to tear the house down.
Yeah. I mean, you can definitely very easily say, the only reason why they did it is because of the whole negative PR surrounding the blood money. But even in this case, the end result is more important than what got us here.
Yeah. I mean, to shit off on, say, blood money itself is one show altogether, but at least we had a great pay-per-view to fall back on, which was Evolution.
Yes.
I mean, sure, it was a surprise to actually have Evolution be a great show, but I'm glad that it happened, and I'm glad that that they provided us with that, because, well, imagine all the negativity and all the shit talking that we're gonna give if both of those shows didn't deliver.
No. Well, I mean, in the one case, it would be. In some ways, I don't even know if we would, because it would just at that point have been expected, because we knew that Blood Money was going to be a terrible show.
It was going to be a shit show.
The minute they announced that Bork Laser was coming back for the show. And yes, I am intentionally calling him Bork Laser. But the minute they announced that Bork Laser was coming back for the show, then it was basically guaranteed at this point. Yep, this is gonna be dumb in every possible way. And lo and behold, it was dumb in every possible way.
Well, like I said, Vince is gonna be along the lines of I call him Block.
Yeah,
Block
sure.
is going to be going into the match with Daniel Cormier with that red belt around his waist.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to try. Vince is going to try to legitimize it that way, and Block's going to get his ass handed to him.
I hope so.
I
hope so.
I mean, should we actually touch on Blood Money or just leave it
at
that?
No, Blood Money is just the only positive thing I can get out of it is Renee was there.
Yeah.
Number one, number two,
but that's to me that was nothing more than a publicity stunt and a PR move by that government and that royal family.
Okay.
Because they condoned murder in one of their consulates in a foreign country, and no.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm seeing opinions on that on Blood Money that range from WWE was cornered to WWE gave them a shit show, so they don't have to go back. And I'm like, I can see the thing about the shit show, the quality of the show being bad. So they're not asked back, but nah.
They put it ass backwards.
The fans over there, which I don't think there's many of, like us, don't understand the business like the three of us do.
Well, and that's the thing that in the end is always going to be like the biggest eyebrow raiser is the fact that like the fans over there aren't allowed to even watch the main roster. They're not allowed to watch Raw and SmackDown because of how the women are portrayed. So it's like, why are we even bothering? It's not like you're gonna create a huge new audience by doing this. So it's like, why?
Well, you look at the Greatest Royal Rumble. They wanted Ultimate Warrior and Yokozuna, two guys that were dead, to be on the show. That tells you just how far out of touch they are.
Yep.
I mean,
and you can't tell me that the royal family does not watch WWE because they do.
They do.
Wouldn't have asked for Brock if they didn't watch it.
They wouldn't have asked for Yokozuna and Ultimate Warrior if they didn't.
So that's not like they're not abiding by their own laws. And you know what? They can come after me and torture me and dismember me for what I'm saying, but I can give two shits. I'm going to be critical of that family. I'm going to be critical
as you should be.
Because, like I said before, and I keep saying it, you promoted it on Thursday, is hashtag principles over profits, Vince. That's what we got to do. Principles over profits. Plain and simple.
I mean, some of the positives, I think the only few positives that I can say is that, well, it's done. Over and done with. WWE got their money. Over and done with. This is over. Done. Don't need to do it again.
For that.
But is it
no, because they have a 10-year deal.
I know they have a 10-year deal. I know they have a 10-year deal. Do they really want to do it again and then face the same amount of backlash? Sure, they would do it again and face the same amount of backlash. But again, court of public opinion will rapidly decrease again and again and again.
Absolutely, but that's when has that ever stopped them before?
Yeah, understandable. When has that ever stopped?
It hasn't.
It hasn't. In doing that, but
it never did and never will. That's the unfortunate part of it all.
And the one I really don't want to go on, and I really don't want to go on a rant on the last one. But never mind. I'll try and I'll keep calm about it.
No, go ahead. Floor is yours.
Shawn Michaels is still Shawn Michaels, despite everything that's horrible with Crown Jewel. All the bad energy surrounding it.
$25 fine.
Okay, I forgot. I said the whole fucking thing.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, let's rewind back. Despite everything that was horrible with Blood Bunny and all the bad energy
Thank
surrounding it,
you.
the one, the one polarizing thing that I can pull off is that seeing Shawn Michaels again, still knowing that Shawn Michaels look like he has what it takes to put on a quality performance. That's the only positive I can pull off of Shawn Michaels. On a very, 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 very negative note, all four of you guys, please stop wrestling. You guys looked as if you have lost your pace 10 years ago, if not 20
What was
years
the
ago.
combined age of that match? Like 200 something? Stupid
Yes.
like that? Yeah.
And about 200.
Taker's 53.
Yep.
Kane is what 50 or 51.
He's
That's-
51. He's 51.
That's over 100 already.
Yes.
Shawn Michaels is 53.
Yep.
Triple H is
And-
49. Triple H is 49.
Trips is 49. He was the baby. He was the
baby.
snot-nosed baby.
Yeah. Over 200. Yep. Over 200 years of age in that match combined.
Yeah.
Get
Please,
out
guys,
of life.
please go back
As
to
I
a time
say
of
on my
Shawn
Twitch
Michaels.
stream, get out of life. That is just no.
Please
Just
get out
no.
of retirement. Just sure, you proven yourself. Yes, you exceeded expectations. Quickly shook off any ring rust you might have had. You became the focal point of the main event because you are actually literally carrying both Undertaker and Kane.
He carried everybody.
Yeah, and Triple H to an extent because he has ring rust.
Yeah,
He
but
has freaking ring rust after working behind the desk for so long.
there is a big difference here, though. It's not just ring rust; it's just rust because they're old. And
I know.
I'm not saying I'm against these guys returning to the ring if that's what they want to do. Great, but you know what? Don't expect that when you do an event like that, when you have these guys
That
who
can-
are at that
Like-
age where it's really not physically advisable to be doing what they do in the ring.
Mhm.
It's just dumb.
I mean, God.
So dumb.
I mean, it throws shades of what? Sting versus Triple H on WrestleMania 33, 34? I can't remember which one.
It was 31.
31.
Yeah.
Okay. It throws shades of Triple H versus Sting where everything is in slow motion and
Yeah,
the only thing
whole
that's
match
fast.
was. That was.
I
Just
mean,
this-
That was just a mess.
I read
But-
the whole thing and it was just a mess because the only person that looks actually credible was surprisingly Shawn Michaels, and he's still 53 and he still looks like he missed a step or two, but he carried the whole load with the whole guy.
Mhm.
I mean, going forward, at least it's nice to know that and I regret to say this, if Shawn Michaels continues to wrestle, he'll do his best to entertain, even if there aren't any fans willing to stick around to cheer for him anymore.
Well, I have a feeling that this is going to lead to a match at WrestleMania between Michaels and Undertaker once again.
No.
I have
Please,
that-
dear God, no.
No.
I'm sorry, but I just have that feeling.
Please, dear God, no.
Please, God, no. One is already 54.
Why, God,
The other
why?
one's 50. Yeah.
Because Vince, because fuck you. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost 2 years ago now that we originally had Why God Why for
Mhm.
Roadblock End of the Line, me and George.
Yes.
That was
Yes.
our first podcasting experience together. WWE
Mhm.
Why God Why. I'm
Mhm.
bringing it back right now. Why God Why?
Mhm.
That's something that's a topic that needs to be revisited on you guys' show. I would assume.
I think this suits enough. I think. Everyone.
No, God!
The fuck?
God, please, no! 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 No!
Did you really just bust out a clip from The Office?
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Classic move. I'm gonna give him props for that because I'm usually the one that does that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Well played. Well
I'm-
played.
Thank you. I mean, if they actually pull off Undertaker Shawn Michaels #3, that's my reaction. You're gonna see in my Twitter timeline just the gif of that.
The gif of that, yeah.
Yeah, just the gif of that.
And rightfully so.
Yes.
Rightfully so. These two guys are already stretching 50. They're gonna start their long walk to 60
Yep.
or 70 even. Please keep your longevity intact rather than wrestle again. I mean, I'm not the one I'm not the one going to decide on career moves and whatnot, because that's their decision and whatnot. But to keep nostalgia and to keep like I say, longevity intact, please don't wrestle again.
Jesus, I mean, you look at the eras alone that Undertaker's been involved with. He's gone from the cartoon era
Mhm.
to getting their asses handed to him before the Attitude Era, to the Attitude Era, through the reality, through the ruthless aggression era, through the
Yep.
era where they had no general direction whatsoever, to the reality era.
Mhm.
Dude,
Yeah.
dude,
Past time.
It's past
dude,
time for you to stop, please.
I'm your age and love you to death, and all that, but dude, get out.
Get out.
Get out! Get down!
Get in the chopper.
Get to the chopper! Okay. Wow. And we have officially gone completely off the rails.
Did we just go what?
It wouldn't be a Shoot in the Breeze show if we didn't go off the rails somewhere.
Yeah, that's true. It's very true.
Get to the chopper. Yeah, no shit. Oh.
Yeah, no shit. Get your ass to the chopper immediately.
Yeah.
Or Arnold will mess you up.
Oh God.
Anyway.
And the thing about it, the thing about it is, it's really bad about this whole situation with blood money. One thing that's not being talked about.
What?
Kane.
Yeah.
Glenn Jacobs.
You mean mayor conflict of interest?
An elected official going to a country that is like that.
That has been proven to actually did the crime.
Which actually admitted to killing the said person and dismembering him.
And a member of the and a member
of the same party as our president.
Yes.
That looks real good. Yeah.
Good. I mean, sometimes
the
president.
No, I'm going to restrain myself. I'm not going to.
Several steps back.
I'm not going to bring politics into this. I'm just.
No, I'm not
either.
I'm just saying.
I'm just pointing something out. That's all
it's
I'm
just
doing.
Huge conflict.
I was going to make a statement about that particular political party, but I will not be insightful. I'd rather not do that.
No,
I mean, I know less. I know even less of that. So.
I know this much, Chris, that yours and my political views differ considerably.
They do.
But you and I also know that is a subject we do not discuss.
Not here.
Because we want to save our brotherhood and our friendship. Our brotherhood and friendship is more important than that.
Yeah.
Than our petty differences about politics.
But again, Kane being there, huge conflict of interest.
Enormous conflict.
Why Kane? Why Mr. Jacobs? Why?
Yeah. Why Glenn? Why?
I mean, sure.
Very different from why God? Why? But
way different. But still, it makes sense. Why Glenn? Why?
Why Glenn? Why is better because that whole encapsulates the whole.
That's what we need to start. That should be the next hashtag. Hashtag Why Glenn? Why?
Why Glenn? Or why Mr. Jacobs? But that's a mouthful. So okay, fine.
Mr. Jacobs. Tear down this country. Wait, no, that doesn't work.
No, that's not it. That's not it. Okay.
I tried.
You tried. Anywho, Chris, I understand that you haven't really watched Power Struggle yet.
I have not, but I have seen the results of the card, and I am more than comfortable talking about how they relate to what is to come for New Japan. So
okay. Because for you guys who are listening about and who are listening closely about NJPW, this is the startup for the road to Wrestle Kingdom in a
Yep.
way. Because this is
We're going to the
where
dome.
we're going back to the dome for the umpteenth time, I think.
Not the umpteenth time, but
Unfortunately,
And you're going back to the dome for the second year in a row, you bastard.
yeah, you fucking jerk. I want to go to the dome.
for the second time in a row. Yeah, I'm planning to. The tickets aren't really out yet, but I believe the tickets aren't even out yet. But I'm planning to. I don't know. Let's hope. Let's hope the plan goes smoothly this time. I hope it's a similar smooth transitional smoothness of this year, where
Why
everything
wouldn't
was
they?
just where everything is perfect and whatnot. Although, of course, you have the usual Japanese crowd going, okay, we're going on down this road with an orderly manner.
Oh, jeez, yes.
I mean, hell, I got friends in Tokyo who actually celebrated Halloween in a train this year, and they were actually just being orderly. I mean, they tell me that no, they tell me that yeah, we got into our Halloween costumes and whatnot, get into this train and just be sociable and be fun, just have a party inside there and just not be rowdy and whatnot. But hey, because the thing is that the thing is the whole Halloween thing is just well starting about 2009 2008 where
It's
the
something new for you guys.
yeah, because it entered there, and the Westerners, the foreigners, are actually the ones who brought it in, and they made the whole thing rowdy. So there's that. Create some sort of what the Japanese folk calls an annoyance, basically. So is that. But
What we do.
yeah, but the whole lead up to it is that yeah, you basically see the whole orderly Japanese going, Japanese audiences going in a straight orderly, not technically straight orderly line, but in an orderly fashion into the Tokyo Dome. Just sit down and just have fun. So hopefully I'll get that for the next Wrestle Kingdom. Let's hope so.
I'm 100% okay with that. I like that about the Japanese crowds. There's not like heckling and stuff.
No,
And
there's not. There's
rowdiness
not.
and shit like that.
Yes.
100% okay with
They
that.
will make their voices known, but not in a way that you'd be usually used to. So in
You don't have you don't have beach balls being knocked around.
oh no,
Thank
not at all.
God for that.
Not at all. Basically, you can't in a wrestling audience in Japan, you won't see people go meiwaku or something like that. For both of you, meiwaku means annoyance, basically, and
Yeah.
basically that's the phrase that we say whenever there's something that bother some sort of environmental or people that are making annoyance, basically, and all of itself.
Yeah.
So there's that. And fortunately, not many are doing that over here in Kyoto. Maybe most of the time people are doing that back in Tokyo. Like I said, when they were doing the whole Halloween train thing, they were being meiwaku. So there's that. in a way. But yeah, let's wish for Mr. Dr. Senju to go there for a second time and not bust his wallet again. I mean, I
Yeah.
think I think I wasted about what? 20, 20, 30? 20, 30,000 yen, I think, on all of that together this year. But in any case,
That's including tickets and
everything
merch,
basically.
right?
Food, merch, whatever that I feel like I want to buy, I buy. So there's that. But in any case, I don't know. If you want me to give you a general layout on the whole Power Struggle 2018 results on this one, the whole card was good, not exactly excellent, and but the thing that people will mostly talk about is usually the post matches kind of stuff, especially with Jericho defeating Evil, where Tetsuya Naito comes out for the save, and somehow and Naito wants to ask Jericho for a rematch, and Jericho says, "No, I don't want a rematch with you. Bye bye." So there's that, and of course Okada's long-standing feud with Jay White and with Jay White and the rest of the Bullet Club OGs, and still Okada is basically White challenged Okada to a match. Okada said, "Well, just how about right now?" And White just walks away. That's another seed that they want to plant.
That's going to happen at the Dome.
Yep, that's another seed that they want to plant. There you go. I think the best match of it all, actually, surprisingly, is Tanahashi and Finlay versus the Golden Lovers. Of course, the Golden Lovers. I mean, I have nothing bad to say about the Golden Lovers or the match itself. The ace himself, Hiroshi Tanahashi, like I said, I don't know, 10 years later, Kamen Rider Hiroshi Tanahashi still looks good.
Kamen Rider Hiroshi Tanahashi. I love it. I love it.
Hey, you're a Kamen Rider fan. You know that the guy isn't actually an avid Kamen Rider fan, and he comes out wearing gear that reminisce of that.
Yep, I still remember seeing him show up in the MV for the Kamen Rider Wizard opening theme.
Yep,
still hilarious to me.
Yeah, that one's hilarious. But I think he had his dream come true when he actually made one of the Kamen Rider movies with the Heisei generations.
That was great.
He became the bad guy, of course. He became the bad guy, of course. He became the bad guy, but he actually said that he had fun. He had fun.
Yeah. Which is the most important thing when you do anything like that. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Good for you, Ace.
Good for you, Ace. But yeah, seeing him doing this again, probably for the last time. I don't know whether they wanted to place him at 55 years old. Hiroshi Tanahashi comes out for NJPW.
He's only 41. He's got time.
Okay, 51. 51 then.
No, he said 41.
Yeah, I know. So 10 years later, they're gonna pull him out again.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I guess.
So you're saying he's going to be the Undertaker of NJPW?
Not really. Not exactly so.
I was going to say, all right then.
Because the guy's more Hulk Hogan than Undertaker, and that's saying it in a good way rather than the whole issue with Undertaker.
He's Hogan with a work ethic.
Yes, he's Hogan with a work ethic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because the guy is marketable. The guy has done a lot more than just wrestling. He acts. He appears in commercials and whatnot. He just recently appeared in a commercial for the Nintendo Switch promoting a game for a video game.
And it also is helpful that he's not a human piece of shit. So that's good too.
He's a great. Basically, outside he's just a great common guy who's just just sits down. If you can actually talk nerd to him, he'll talk nerd to you back and just discuss all things about tokusatsu, about comic books, about Kamen Rider in particular as well, because he's a huge fan of that.
He'll probably talk about Borderlands 2 or Destiny that you play, Chris. He probably would talk that with you too.
Yeah, he probably could talk video games.
Probably.
He's a marketable guy. He's a very intelligent guy, and he just is an overall classy human being.
Mm-hmm.
Can't ask for better.
And that's nothing wrong with it. I mean,
nothing wrong. Not at all.
We forgot one thing when we were talking about WWE Blood Money.
What?
Oh no! I didn't forget about it. I'm just ignoring it.
Bald-head blonde with the bandana around his head came back too.
Yeah, I was avoiding discussing that.
I don't.
Don't want it. Do not want.
Don't want.
Do not want.
Do not want. I don't either. But we all know.
I know. I just know. I'm
going to bring people back that screw up, and that just opens the door for a certain other blonde, should he ever decide to get back into wrestling and leave the rap world, to come back. He'll be back as
well. If they want their public opinion to go down even further than the shitstorm that they're going to go afterward.
All they would have to do is sign a gentleman with the initials ME, and that would really kill him. That's a name that will not be mentioned here. And Chris, he knows exactly who I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I think Tony,
human piece of shit.
Yep.
Literal human garbage.
Yep.
Literal human garbage.
We can't come back to this country right now because of the issues.
If the issues that he has, yes.
Good.
But in any case, 3 points that I'm going to pull. 3 points that I'm going to pull out for Power Struggle that leads up to Wrestle Kingdom. Well, we have a new never open weight champ.
Hey, well, this returning never open weight champ.
Returning, but we haven't.
I think that they were planning on putting it on Will, and so they just stuck with the theme of taking
and
it
then
off
stuck with-
Taichi. But
yeah.
now Goto is back with the belt, and I'm okay with that.
And I'm okay with that,
Goto
yeah.
has done good work with the belts. You know, he's a little older, but you know, he still has done great stuff. I got no
Yes.
problem with Goto being the champion again.
Yes, true. And I mean, that brings up question: who's going to face him in? Say, well, okay, let's go.
At the
Let's
Dome,
go the long game. Yeah, at the,
they'll
at the
probably
Dome.
have a rematch with Taichi. I would have to imagine.
All right.
Since
Okay.
since they seem to want to give Taichi a singles push, which, you know, again, reasons surpassing understanding. But you know what, I'm not gonna go against it. I mean,
Yeah.
at this point, they've set it up, and you know, the crowd seems to have gone along with it, even though Taichi is terrible. You know, at least they're, you know, they've still managed to, you know, go along with it in some way. So
I can see that. I can see that. I agree. Number 2, well, the soon-to-be fight against Omega and Tanahashi, of course, because Tanahashi has the briefcase, Omega has the belt. That's gonna be something.
yeah, I hope. I 2 weeks ago I wasn't sure, but I'm now fully on board. I want Tanahashi to win the belt.
For just
want him to
just
get
to give him that sort of, like, say, golden watch then.
No,
Probably.
no, not to give them a golden watch run. They need to. I'm gonna, you know, I got a hot take here.
Okay,
You
go.
know, and there are going to be people who are going to probably want to, you know, crucify me for this, but whatever. Kenny Omega's title run has kind of been shitty.
Yes.
It has been a
surprising coming
subpar
to
and lackluster title run.
Yeah, surprising coming
And-
from me too, because I think his whole heavyweight title run is just to push Golden Lovers and just to push Kota Ibushi up. That's one hot take that I want from that on my side.
I don't know if that's necessarily the case, but I will say I don't believe that they have gotten any amount of mileage out of this.
No.
And like, you know, they should have belted Naito when they had the chance.
Yeah, I know, but here's the thing: ever since Omega got the title, who was there for him, and who was he always putting up? Ibushi.
Yeah, but like if they really are going that hard to try and get Ibushi just to get him to sign full time with New Japan, they're barking up the wrong tree. It's not going to work.
Yeah, which is crazy. If they wanted to do that, they just pull the trigger. Omega versus Ibushi for the title. There you go.
Yeah,
and
they would have had either Ibushi would have won the G1, or they would have done a match for the briefcase at some other event along the way, and you know, Ibushi would have taken it, and they would have that be the event at the Dome. I think that they're too busy trying to hedge their bets because of the fact that they're not sure if Omega and the Bucks are going to the Fed.
Exactly.
And because of that, that has left them with not many options.
Yeah, that's something I'm wondering about too.
Yeah,
because
so it's
the Bucks have said once before we're not going there, and now there's rumors.
Yeah,
Omega said I'll never go to the Fed because, you know, Cody told us it was shit, and now there are rumors that they haven't signed with NJPW yet, and
their contracts are up on January 1st.
Yes,
and they're up in January. Interesting.
Less than, say, 2 months. I think, less than 2 months from now. So we have to wait and see up until December what happens on there. Yep. That's another point. Another point for the whole build up to Wrestle Kingdom. Okada's long-standing crusade against Jay White and Geto in particular.
Well, yeah, because he was betrayed.
Yes. He wants the shiny. He didn't get the shiny. He still wants his family. Now he lost his family. Now he's chasing after Jay White, the source of it all. Yep. I'm interested. I'll say I'm interested because
I'm very interested. I like the storyline. I really do. I think it's very well executed. I think that it's a great thing for Okada while they, you know, I wouldn't say that they're cooling him off necessarily, but they definitely are, giving him that time to kind of do something different outside of the whole, being the ace, which makes sense. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, me too. Because I like you said, it is a very well built story behind it, and the whole. I'm more surprised, and I'm pleasantly surprised that they actually stuck with Jay White being the perpetrator of the breakup of chaos and whatnot, even though he has already stated earlier, ever since the beginning, that he's just using chaos as a stepping stone. So there's that.
Yes. Well, that we knew it was going to happen. So I mean, I think it was more so the fact that it happened in the context of Okada also losing the belt, and his kind of like, I don't want to say fall from grace, but clearly, not as not as much in
Luster,
in the realm of the champion that he was. Because when as the champion is a very different person than who we have now, who is very clearly not entirely of the same mind.
Yeah. I mean, I'll agree.
He's damaged in some way because of what he has lost.
Yes, he wants the shiny. He didn't get it. He wants the backing of his family. No, he didn't get it either. So there's that. Please come out, Okada. Please come out with bunches of balloons next time for Wrestle Kingdom.
Won't the real Kaz Okada please stand up?
Yeah. And he comes out with balloons. Or come up to the turnbuckle, stand, does his Rainmaker pose, suddenly balloons come down. Which is gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Last point, probably the least point that I'm gonna focus on. Well, the whole tag team division with the whole Roppongi 3K and Bushi and Shingo Takagi. Suzuki-gun.
Yeah, that was a weird decision.
In a way.
Put the belts back on Roppongi 3K. I understand that they are, they are a hot team, but like, I don't know, the whole junior tag belt thing has always just been kind of weird to me because it seems like they never really know what the hell to do with it.
Because here's the thing, one criticism that I think is viable for NJPW is that they are excellent in putting out singles talent. They're excellent in putting out solo characters one at a time, and to an extent, say stables too. They can actually do decent amount or probably a good amount of job with stables. But when it comes to tag teams,
it's a little bit
of a murky, a little bit challenging for them because they haven't really. I think it's safe for me to say that along the history of Japanese wrestling as a whole, they never really actually concentrated on tags. They're always going to go one-on-one because that's the honorable way of fighting. One-on-one. I mean, hell,
honorable combat.
Not just Mortal Kombat. Hell, even Antonio Inoki would say that one-on-one is going to be the most honorable way of fighting.
You get to go one-on-one with the Undertaker. I'm sorry.
You get to go one-on-one with the Great One or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
One-on-one with the Great One. Yes, that was.
Wait, you get to go one-on-one with Wayne Gretzky? What?
No, we're talking about.
I know.
Dwayne Johnson, thank you, damn it.
Okay, one-on-one with Dwayne Johnson, no longer the Great One. One-on-one with Dwayne Johnson, which is
I just like the whole idea of one-on-one with Wayne Gretzky, and he just slaps you upside the head with a hockey stick.
Wayne Gretzky, the biggest wimp that ever played the game. Always had to have somebody protecting his back, i.e. Estetikinen, Marty McFarlane.
Anyway.
Okay, for you guys who's gonna go check out Power Struggle, it's actually quite a decent card overall.
Yeah, it's a good show.
Yeah, it's a good show. Some of the results are actually just a little bit fishy because, in regards to the tag team division, there, putting the belt back on Roppongi 3K is questionable. What are they going to do going into Wrestle Kingdom? That's a little bit blurry. But most of the expected things that we believe are coming out, bar Goto winning the belt, because I think they wanted to put Never Openweight Championship match on, say, Will Ospreay, but Will Ospreay got injured. So there's that.
Yeah, they definitely wanted to put it on Ospreay instead.
But then again, Ospreay got injured. But there you go. But most of the things that we believe are going in are already starting to set in stone. Jay White and Okada, Omega and Tanahashi, probably again with say what Ibushi on Omega's ring side, on his ring side, and Katsuyori Shibata on the other side, probably again. I mean,
Yeah, probably.
probably because
Uh,
hell, they already did that for the Korakuen Hall. Imagine the ovation that Shibata would get in a Tokyo Dome.
Yeah. Oh,
They're
yeah.
gonna milk that out. They're gonna milk that out.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but yeah, most of the stuff that are on the main event are going to the main event. The rest of it is just filler, basically.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, big questions for Bullet Club OG. What's gonna happen? Are they gonna poke in with Jay White or just let Jay White take care of business with Okada? That's the other question that I
Yeah.
posit.
Not sure, really.
Yeah,
It's clear that they are, that they see that everybody benefits from the alliance,
Mhm.
and I wouldn't be surprised if they took part somehow.
Mhm.
But I don't know.
I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot of questions. There's a lot of options, actually, rather than questions.
Yes,
that could be.
very much so.
Because I believe that, you already have Chaos being broken up in a way. I don't know whether Chaos has officially disbanded or not.
No, not at all. No, they haven't officially disbanded.
Yeah,
it's just it's
because
just they
they're just
need to
broken
get the
up,
rest
I
of their
think.
shit together.
Yeah, in a way. BCOG has been, after the whole firing squad issues, they have been thereabouts.
Mhm.
Issues with Los Ingobernables de Japón. That's
Not with Los Ingobernables, the podcast. There are no
not
issues
with
here.
Los no issues there.
We have no issues.
LIP
We
is
have
fine.
no issues. We are a loving family here.
Yes.
LIP is fine. LIP is fine.
Oh God! Don't do that.
No,
Why would you do that?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to all you fans.
As you
of both
should be.
teams.
As
I'm
you
sorry.
should be.
Hoseki.
Apologize. I'm sorry.
Gomenasai. I do the bow, the 90 degrees bow.
Yeah.
Not the 45 degrees, the 90 degrees.
The
Right
angle. Right angle
The
bow.
right angle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
LIJ,
Anyway.
like I said, anyway, LIJ is in a limbo. I think both of us agree that, they're stuck in a limbo whatsoever and whatnot. Probably they'll get a kick up their butt with Shingo Takagi being there, but still, your results may vary on that one. Taguchi Japan is going to be just Taguchi Japan.
Is Hiroshi Tanahashi still in Taguchi Japan? Yes.
Yes. That's the miracle of the 22nd, 23rd, or 2018, if you want to say, on NJPW. Hiroshi Tanahashi, your ace, is still in Taguchi Japan.
The running gimmick of two guys, one sport still lives, still going strong.
Still going strong. I mean, at 41, still kicking ass, taking names, and getting himself to the main event.
Yes.
Can't say much about it.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, after all the stables, okay, let's not forget Suzuki-gun. Again, Suzuki-gun is doing fine.
I mean,
they're doing fine.
The funny thing about it is that Suzuki-gun has actually had the most stability in the midst of all this stuff, and they haven't been doing anything. Like
they haven't really done anything.
Minoru Suzuki is just kind of doing his thing, just
kicking ass and taking names, of course.
Whoever he wants to fight, he'll fight.
Yeah, he'll fight. Zack Sabre Jr. is doing Zack Sabre Jr. things.
Yeah, that's about all we can say for that.
Putting people in pretzels and whatnot, and tying them in knots.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of them, surprises, they're the most stable.
Yeah, they are.
It's
it's an amazing thing that they are the most
stable.
Yeah, they are the most well grounded group
stable
right now.
Yeah. They're just there. We're still here, guys.
Just chilling. Just doing our thing.
Chilling. Yep.
Yeah.
We have the daddiest of daddies, Minoru Suzuki, watching over us. So in any case, I mean, yeah, I think that's pretty much wraps up anything that I wanted to say this week. Anything you guys want to say that is out from the card that we have this week?
No, that's about it.
I have a subject that I need to touch on quickly.
Sure.
Go ahead.
The Banzuki is out. Sumo starts next Saturday here in the United Saturday night, middle of the night.
Yes. And therefore, Shootin' the Breeze will
I will, be
gladly.
I will be covering as much of it as I can.
Yes.
I will be watching it
I
live.
think you can. I think you can cover some of it and then take note on it. Correct?
Yeah. My new job is much more lenient. I don't have near the amount of crap to do.
Yeah.
As long as I have
Catch.
as long as I have breakfast out by 6 a.m., I'm good.
Good deal.
Good deal indeed. I mean, okay. I completely forgot, but then again, I haven't really watched. I haven't really watched sumo unless it's for the show. So there's that.
You need to start watching again.
Yep. Start
That
watching
starts-
again. MDS has
It starts next Sunday.
yes. MDS has more things to do research on. Be Banzuki for this November.
Or is it next Saturday?
Next Saturday. Next Saturday. Don't worry. Next Saturday. I mean, I do believe that the whole, that the whole schedule and the whole fight up, as the whole card has been out. So there's that. We'll do we'll do an in-depth analysis on each one next week. Don't
Yep.
worry.
It's gonna
Sumo
be
season is going back again.
it's going to be very interesting to say the least.
Yes, your man, the man himself, Tochinoshin, is still there. So
Yes, he's now solid, but still has to be Kachikoshi to keep his rank.
yes,
And currently, right now, he had 51 wins this year. I think he's tied with Kasina Sato for most wins of the year,
Mhm.
which is
Oh.
normally a place that Yokozuna Hakuho is in, but obviously Hakuho has missed several tournaments because he was injured.
Mhm.
It's Kakuryu, not Kasina Sato. Kakuryu.
Okay, okay,
Kasina Sato just came back last tournament for
all
his
right.
first time in almost 2 years.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it's
Gonna be fun.
it's gonna be fun. It's the last tournament of this year.
Mhm. Then we
And
have spring, and
come January, we start all over again in Tokyo.
yes, more Tokyo, more Korakuen Hall shenanigans, and more.
No, that's Koguki-kan. They're
Oh,
at the
Koguki-kan. Okay,
They're at the Koguki-kan, right?
I forget. Now it's Koguki-kan. Yes. Okay, I got it all wrong. I'm sorry.
Apologize.
Now it's just 45 degrees because I do that.
Channeling my inner Mr. Torg here.
But it's,
Me and
it-
Annie.
you know, it's. I'm looking for that is the and ladies and gentlemen, sumo is the oldest combat sport out there. Older than professional wrestling, older than MMA,
Mhm.
older than anything, older than football, older than rugby. It's two big guys, basically slapping the shit out of each other and trying to push each other out of a ring or throw each other to the ground, which is it's awesome to watch.
Yeah.
And matches are so quick, very quick, 30 to 40 seconds and they're over.
That's true.
And,
In any case,
that's why they can do. That's why they can do 75 to 80 matches in a day.
Jeez, is there anything else that needs to be laid on the mat for that then? Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, okay. One last note. Before I start wrapping up and all that, yes, we have a little bit, but what? About 16 more minutes until Arsenal versus Liverpool for the English Premier League. The ball of foots. Yes, I'm talking about the ball of foots, but just briefly, because this is the end. I'm looking forward to it. So that's all. Because I'm gonna have to miss that and catch some early sleep because I'm still having a little bit of a headache. In any case, I know Sal is watching, so I know he's going to be twittering out yes
Yeah.
as usual. But in any case, that's just pretty much it. If there is nothing else on the card, then well, I'm surprised that I can actually wrap this up in about 2 hours, which is actually pretty good for us.
Yep.
So yes. I'm surprised. I'm surprised. This has been episode 66 of Shooting the Breeze. Before I start wrapping up, Mr. Chris, where can they find you?
During the week, you can find me over on Twitter at CrazyChris576 for just talking whatever. We like to keep the discussion topics varied and enjoyable. You can also find me on Thursday nights on my show at Two Guys One Sport or Two Guys One Sport. Follow us on Twitter at Two Guys One Sport, number 1 in the handle. And this past week we talked evolution, talked power struggle, and some other things. And it was a good show. Next week is episode 80, which is kind of crazy to even think about. But yeah, we are at episode 80 of our show. We have
20 more.
We've been doing this for a long time, guys. It's kind of crazy to consider. But yeah, so I hope you can come check us out. We'll be still on YouTube, but along with all the rest of LIP, we'll be making the move over to Twitch when the new month hits. So you can check us out there once we get there. What else?
Because we're moving into a market that's basically wide open.
Yep, and that was the thought process. I wanted to do that, so that's what we are doing. And really excited about that.
Yes. Very excited.
I am too.
Yeah. Before I move on to Taker, I really forgot about one thing. I mean, this is probably just general housekeeping, not usually our wrestling housekeeping, but condolences to the owner of Leicester City, the honored Vishai Srivanan Prabha. I hope I don't bungle the name improperly for all you Thailand listeners, but the owner of Leicester City tragically passed away in a helicopter accident just outside the Leicester City stadium. A few moments before, not a few moments, actually about half an hour before Leicester City were supposed to go up on a soccer match last week. So this is actually still fresh, but yeah. Condolences to the whole thing, and again, this is actually striking close to the heart because I didn't tell you guys, but I have been in England when I was 7, so there's that. And where I lived was actually Leicester City. So
wow. Yeah,
in any case,
condolences to them. But, last little thing, if you're looking for any non-wrestling related content, you can find me over on my Twitch channel at CrazyChris576. Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays for all of your video game streaming desires.
What are you doing tonight? Are you doing anything tonight?
More Borderlands tonight. We're back on Borderlands. We do Borderlands 4 nights a week. Friday nights is Destiny 2. We do co-op Destiny streams with viewers and to join in for whatever the heck activities we feel like doing. And that's been a ton of fun. We had a really good stream last night. I hit 600 on my Warlock, which was nice.
Awesome.
And you enjoyed that hammer too.
Oh yeah, the hammer, the hammer on my Titan. I got my first new subclass on my Titan, and I got the big hammer, and that was pretty freaking sweet. So
awesome.
Having a ton of fun there, and I hope you guys can join us there. It's a great time.
Let's put it this way, MDS. He was like a 5-year-old kid.
Yeah. There's a clip in Discord, MDS. If you go to my Discord channel, there's a couple of clips.
Sure.
Check out, sure.
I was sitting there at work trying my best not to crack up because I was up in the front office area, and I'm like, I can't be laughing like this.
Sure, I'll go check it out. See what the excitement is all about.
It was great, yeah. But yeah, that's
it was good to hear you
Twitter
that way, Chris.
Yeah, Twitter, podcast, Twitch.
That's it.
And that's the sum total of things.
Yeah. And Taker, where can they find you?
You can find me always on Takers_Minion on Twitter, the aforementioned Los Ingobernables, the podcast network on Twitch. You can also find me every Monday night on Connoisseurs of Wrestling. That's 8 Eastern, 7 Central. Every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 Central. Except in a couple more weeks when we go to Survivor Series, we will be coming on an hour early.
Yes, I know.
Yep. for that one, uh,
We'll have another episode dedicated to how they're not really promoting Survivor Series yet.
Oh, yeah.
Somehow they wanted to churn out this super fast. So there's that.
Yeah.
In any
but,
case,
in any case, you know, that's basically it. I'm just looking forward to everything that's coming into this end of this year and the beginning of next year.
mhm.
Yep.
It's going to be a fun. It's going to be a fun year.
It
And
is.
I cannot forget the newest show, a
Oh yeah, that's right. We
network,
didn't.
network special that's going to be once a month. That's myself, create a Legends Lover, my wife, and
Mhm.
Crazy Chris 576. Which started out as just us talking online on a hangout that was never posted, and 5 hours later we got a podcast born out of it. It's once a
Yeah.
month, and we just talk about whatever the hell we feel like talking about.
One night at the round table.
One
So-
night at
One
the
night
round
at a
table.
round table.
And we
Yeah.
we did our first one a couple weeks back, and it had to do with Chris Benoit and the concussion issues, and it's kind of interesting that
We also talked about Roman Reigns as well.
we talked
But,
about that as well and how it affected us. And
Yeah. It
Please
was a
don't say
great
you talked
great
about-
discussion. It's really
Yes.
Please
really
say-
really awesome stuff.
Please don't say you actually talked about Mr. Dr. Senju having leukemia again, yet again.
it did come up briefly, but
Okay,
very
cool.
very briefly, yeah.
because you're very close to both of us, and
Yeah.
you don't really know.
The good brother.
The
Yes.
good bro. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Eh,
And-
I'll be happy to extend my life up until 70, I think, or 80. It's
Thank
Hey.
you.
we're
Please.
all going to do our best.
yeah.
And MDS, where can they find you?
You can find me on the Bluebird, that is Twitter, on
The
Mr. Dr. Senju.
Bluebird.
I love it.
The Bluebird, that is Twitter. Mr. Dr. Senju, that's MRDR Senju. There you can actually see me rant about everything under the sun. Back then it was Roman Reigns. Now it is actually literally everything under the sun, from One Piece to Kamen Rider Zeo to, well, anything wrestling related to as well. But yeah, you can also catch me on the official Shootin' Debris Twitter. That is SHOOTINDABREEZ1. I am working myself on doing a very active duty on both Twitter and SoundCloud and on iTunes. So please, I'm bucking up the trend. So I am doing the best that I can right now.
Just as long as you're not working yourself into a shoot, that's really all I care about.
Great segue and great plug-in on yourself. Great, just great. In any case, other than that, we have the Lost and Global Novas podcast. These podcasts that are under the banner of the LIP. Of course, one of them is Two Guys One Sport, has been already promoted, but I'll promote it again. Crazy Chris Colgan and George Conjuker at Sabes on Thursdays. You got Fizzy's One. Yes, thank you. Yeah, Fizzy's Wacky World of Wrestling with William 14 Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick, nice to hear from you again, Mr. William Fitzpatrick. Looking forward to chatting with you again. You got Violent Wrestling Podcast with Ambrose Ali and Prince Mosley Lopez, and Ambrose Ali's Ramblings with Ambrose Ali. You got Match Fixing with Don Sacrismano over at Outer Line Media. You have Ruthless Aggression Podcast with Metal Matt. And of course, again, I'll do this again, Connoisseurs of Wrestling with TakersMinion, Biff Kensington, George Sabes, and Legends Lover. And what you were saying?
And I said, oh yeah, there was a special taping, a special edition of Ruthless Aggression podcast that I did on Thursday
Okay,
with Metal Man, and we talked about WrestleMania 20.
great.
And I just could not get over how dead that crowd was.
Uh,
I digress.
How dare
Anyway.
Anyway, we have MLW Radio Podcast that we usually promote with Something to Wrestle with Conrad Thompson and Bruce Pritchard, and What Happened When with Conrad Thompson and Tony Schiavone. Other podcasts, other stuff, other nonsense that I promote, Taker promote, anybody else on the podcast promote. We have Big Rick Travels with Big Rick Steve. This is actually literally a guy named Steve who drives his Big Rick while doing a live stream podcast on the truck itself. So there's that.
Yeah.
And of course, yes, Taker already mentioned this, but considering the season is going to start again on November. We have Mbovo Sumo for you sumo connoisseurs. That's MBOVO Sumo over at Twitch TV channel. And of course, yet again, since we are actually discussing about Twitch TV, promoting Crazy Chris's own channel. That's Crazy Chris 576 over at Twitch TV channel. Please catch him for other non-wrestling items, non-wrestling criteria, where he plays Destiny 2, Borderlands 2, HOTS, Heroes of the Storm for you guys, not Heart of the Swarm. Please get that correctly. And
All
anything
sorts of
under
other
the sun.
things.
Yeah, also anything under the sun. And that's pretty much it for this week's show. This has been episode 66, yet again. The good, the bad, the ugly. At least we didn't actually talk too much on the ugly.
No.
At least
The
we
ugly-
left blood money out of it.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah, for the most part. But let's, like I said, we're still working on moving over to Twitch TV. Hopefully, so on early December at least, the earliest. But then again, that's pretty much it for me, for TakersMinion, and of course for Crazy Chris as well, Chris Gogan, brother. Thank you so much for coming in.
Of course, it's always a pleasure to be here. You guys are the best, and this is always a fun time. What good way to spend a Saturday morning?
Yes.
So.
Very, very good day. Get your breakfast, get your grabs over here on.
I had my breakfast while we were on the show, so I lived the gimmick. It was work. It was
You
wonderful.
lived the gimmick. That's good. That's good. That's good.
Good for you, Chris. Good for you.
Indeed.
For Chris himself, for TakersMinion, I'm Mr. Dr. Senju. Make sure to smile. Be nice to one another. And well, oyasumi for me, that is. Oyasumi for me. And okiru for all of you who are listening while at breakfast. Meaning good night for me and good morning, wake up for you guys. So there's that.
Okay. And this is episode 66, done and dusted.